This is a call to the nation. One by one, let's do it together. Let's be the change we want to see. Standing strong through any weather. Follow the light of the PEP. Cause we could build a better place for every creed and every race. Together we could triumph over anything we face. So one by one, two by two, the PEP, we're here for you. Bit by bit, one people under one flag. So come on, let me fix it, we go fix it. Build a better TNT. Build it, we go fix it, we go fix it. Because we vote in PEP. Come on, let me fix it, we go fix it. It's time for a change indeed. Build it, we go fix it, we go fix it. Because we vote in PEP. Twin islands, let's move together. In unity, we can achieve. Right the wrongs, we do it together. Let's build a place where we could truly be. Moving together, hand in hand. One people under one flag. We can build a better future for our children. So one by one, two by two, the PEP, we care for you. Bit by bit, let's build a better TNT. So come on, let me fix it, we go fix it. Build a better TNT. Build it, we go fix it, we go fix it. Because we vote in PEP. Come on, let me fix it, we go fix it. It's time for a change indeed. Build it, we go fix it, we go fix it. Because we vote in PEP. So one by one, two by two, the PEP, we're here for you. Bit by bit, one people under one flag. Come on, let me fix it, we go fix it. Build a better TNT. Build it, we go fix it, we go fix it. Because we vote in PEP. Come on, let me fix it, we go fix it. It's time for a change indeed. Build it, we go fix it, we go fix it. Because we vote in PEP. So one by one, two by two, the PEP, we're here for you. Bit by bit, one people under one flag. Come on, let me fix it, we go fix it. Build a better TNT. Build it, we go fix it, we go fix it. Because we vote in PEP. Come on, let me fix it, we go fix it. It's time for a change indeed. Build it, we go fix it, we go fix it. Because we vote in PEP. Bit by bit, one people under one flag.
have a job to do, eh? And some people around them starting a movement called the Third Force Movement. The organization, not me, the organization had access to hundreds of thousands of dollars to start the party. Hundreds of thousands. They sent to bring to Trinidad the #1 marketing guru in one of the top advertising agencies in the world. Put him up in a hotel. I mean, money was no problem. In 48 hours, we had blue Third Force jerseys by the thousand. And that party went nowhere. It fell apart, it bust, it died. Since then, the 3 people who were involved in the Third Force movement went on to found parties of their own. Timothy Hammersmith with his Hope Party, which is a nice think tank, but it is not a real political movement. It does not resonate at any level of society. Gary Griffith formed the NTA, which, as you all know, had to join with the UNC to contest the election. The only political party that came out of those 3 people that became something national is the Progressive Empowerment Party. And the Progressive Empowerment Party have no money. We never had money. We always begging for money. Always. Kezia came here from Canada to bring some money to us. We always begging for money. The shirts on your back. The shirts on your back. You wouldn't believe. Yesterday, Joanne, Pat Jaikaran, and myself had to sit down in the office to organize 500 jerseys for our campaign launch coming on Wednesday. And over the course of about an hour and a half, calls after calls, calls between suppliers, calls between printers, calls between potential donors, how are we going to make up the money? It turned out we needed to get about $30,000 to get the shirts. We couldn't raise more than about $18,000 sitting down there. I had to look to Joanne and say, could you cover us to print these shirts? She said, I need that money back Thursday. I look at Pat, I said, Pat, if we print the shirts, you can sell them all out before Thursday. She said, I'll cover the bill. That's how we print shirts. That's how we get it done. When Felicia and Joanne and the rest of the, and Amanda and the rest of the finance team worked till 10, 11, 12 o'clock in the night to get it done. No other political party in this country, none, not one other political leader understands it. And I want to say the way I do, because I am part of every single person's team. And I am part of everything that goes on in this party. And I see how hard every single person have worked to make this movement as strong as it is. We have 61 candidates for the local government election. Hope have none. NTA have 31. Come on. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the strongest outside of the PNM and the UNC. Congress of the People have none. MSJ got what? 3? 3? They call us to debate those people. Debate them. And put us last. And we're taking all of that. Because we work very hard, and we always know that our people in the Progressive Empowerment Party are the best and strongest people in politics. Trinidadians are coming to that realization themselves. Trinidadians are coming to the realization that while they want to sit down in their little ivory towers and refer to the Progressive Empowerment Party as a one-man party, none of them with a multi-man party could have failed 61 candidates in the local government election. So they're either saying that they're lying or they're saying I am Superman. Either one are taken. I'm taking either one. I'm taking both. Taking both. You will hear when they private messaging you. You see, Satish, Satish put out all our candidates and all of their names and all of their phone numbers. The Progressive Empowerment Party not on stunts. And then you will hear other political parties will come to you and message you and try, because stunt is all they do. They want to pretend that they say they can pick and take and look a converter. The Progressive Empowerment Party, I want you to understand this. You're going to hear them give you every reason why you should consider them. And they're going to tell you things like this. The PNM is the enemy. All of we should link up. But if we're not on the same side, and if we don't have the same goal, the same ideology, I can't say the same goal, because getting elected is the ultimate goal. But our goal is, getting elected is a means to an end to us. Getting elected so that we can break the contract mafia and level the playing field and make Trinidad first world and developed is our goal. Not just to win. Not just to get an office and a contract and a blue light and a secretary. For us, office is not the end in and of itself. The UNC needs office to be relevant, not to deliver. Look around you. I could bet you dollars to donuts are standing up in a UNC constituency. Whether it is PNM or UNC, it matters not. The representation is the same, nothing. And Trinidadians who are listening to us, speak, are coming to the realization that they have to either hate us or face the truth that the people they gave their support to all these years and decades have lied to them, have taken advantage of them. When we tell you that the school system does not have to fail, cognitive dissonance in the minds of the supporters of the PNM and the UNC tells them, he lied. It's not that simple. We have to know our politics better than everybody else knows. We held to a different measure. The first interview the Progressive Empowerment Party got on TV6 was with Fazir Mohammed. He asked, how much members do they have? First question. Second question, where are their money coming from? I watched other political people form political parties last week, and they're dealing with them like prince and princess. Progressive Empowerment Party is treated the way that it is because we are a threat to the cocaine contract mafia that has destroyed Trinidad and Tobago. They understand that Philip Edward Alexander and this movement is not for sale. They understand that we know if the orange had linked up with the yellow, we could have sailed in because all of we gang up and we will mash them up and what you want? You want a state board? What you want? You want a ministry? What you want? You want 100,000 and 500,000? We writing checks. What you want? But what would we have accomplished? What would it have been for? What would it have been about? All this work. You see, I know it. I know better than any of you all know how difficult I could be. I live with me. I know me. I have like rock stone. There are times I feel like I am like biting down on foil. I know. But every single person that is a part of my team will tell you that they have gotten themselves to places in life along the way that they never thought they were capable of getting to. I don't take no for an answer. If you insist on your no, I say next. I will find somebody else to do it. Every single senior person in this party will tell you that. I am sure, because my ears is ring. I am sure when I leave the office, it is well talked about. I am sure, and they wouldn't be wrong. But without any money at all, I think we did the largest motorcade that I have ever seen in politics. Today, I watched that motorcade, and I thought to myself, this is local government. These people can't even pull this off in general elections. We looking like we fighting a national election here. That's how y'all coming across. Y'all are doing an amazing job. And if I saw that I taking credit for the quality of the people around me, I want to say thank you to God in heaven for blessing me the way He has blessed me. Everybody tired. Some of us standing up since 6 o'clock this morning. The motorcade was a walking cane for some of us. Some of us were walking and handing out flyers while others were sitting in air-conditioned comfort, and they're more tired than me. If I look in rumful up and nasty, it's because we're on it since 6 o'clock this morning. It's not been an easy road to hoe, and we know that we have 5 more next week at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. We're going to be in Mayaro, because it starts in Mayaro and it ends at Tunapuna. And we have to do Mayaro, Grandi, Arima to Tunapuna next week. And the following Saturday, we're doing everything from Tunapuna to Diego Martin. And then the following Saturday, we're back down south, but this time deep south. It don't get easier, it just get harder. We're going Point 14 and Labre and Cedros. You understand? But we will get bigger and we will get stronger, because we always do. The Progressive Empowerment Party is not people that here for money, because we have none. It's not people who here for me, because as cute and as sexy as I am, where's his way again? The people that are in the Progressive Empowerment Party that got out of their house this morning like me when it was still dark, those people are in this because they have a belief that Trinidad could be a first world nation, that we could fix it. We've explained to people at the height of the water crisis why we have a water crisis. Not one single politician in this country, not one office holder can explain to you why a 48-inch main in Caroni could affect water in Diego Martin. Nobody can explain that to you. That is incompetence, that is ineptitude, that is laziness, that is failed governance. And every single person who didn't have water for 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, because the main boss, y'all should be mad as hell. But you know what you should be madder for? Understanding why you don't have water. They just tell you that a schedule you 2 out of 5 days, 3 out of 7 days. Why? Because one 48-inch main trying to pump water from Caroni to Diego Martin that feeding 250,000 households can't do all at the same time. Nobody ever make a pump that big yet. So what they have to do is they have to send that water to relay stations. They call them pumping stations. The water will reach, and if they lock off here, it'll turn here, and you will get it in Marabal. If they lock it here, you will get it in El Socorro. And that's how our water system works, designed to fail. And then they will tell you that the pipes have leaks, and that's the problem. Of course the pipes having leaks will have a problem. You sending water to be 100 miles from my house. When the rain fell on my house yesterday and nearly washed it away. Why can't we capture the water in the communities that is falling in? Why is the Diego Martin River designed to capture the water in the hills and throw it in the sea? And if there is anybody that could make sense of that to you, if there is anybody can explain to you why Diego Martin and Westmoreland would throw its water into the sea and then send water from Caroni via 48-inch main, buying desalinated water from Desalcott, former UNC government ministers and investors for $1 billion a year for the next 35 years. If you could make it make sense for anything other than theft coming into government and understanding how it works, mash it up so that you could make money from it. When the calm imberts of this world stand up in the parliament to read the budget, he should say, the government plans to steal your money this way, this year. We are going to overtax you this year. We are going to tax you on your income. We're going to tax you on your home. We're going to tax you on things inside your home. And we are going to come back and tax the whole property again and call it a property tax. And we're going to do that because the government doesn't know any other way to run the country. And that all of the 30 or the $60 billion that they're stealing comes from your pocket. All the long talk for the 4 hours is $30 billion. 80% of the annual income is all taxes from the citizens. They've put us on treadmills and they've made us fools. And they tell us that you're paying for goods and services. That is not proper goods and services. For the $1 billion we spend at the Salcott every year, 1 year, the Progressive Empowerment Party could fix all the water in the country and everybody would have water 24/7 from then. And I will explain it to you, unlike the other political parties that would make a statement as sexy as what I just said. And they would, people would say, but that was sound right. They would do it by now if that was true. And they're not going to tell you how it's done so that you don't understand. So that you either have to believe and trust and be willing to jump on their treadmill or become a fully functional, critical thinking citizen, which is what the Progressive Empowerment Party wants. We want people to understand how capture, hold, treat, distribute works. People have all the answers for how things might be wrong because they've put those things in our heads. They've told us you can't use river water because people has brushed their teeth and spit in the sink and the sink was going to run. I don't want to drink people toothpaste water. And they tell you that that's how it works. So then you have to come back and explain to them how ultraviolet water scrubbing and reverse osmosis works. And that if we could take dissolved salt out of water, we could take anything else. That there are places in the world where there are pig farms and that the raw sewage from the pig farm goes through a water treatment facility and on the other end, it is pure drinking water. If they could purify sewage from a pig farm, why we can't collect water in retention ponds in Trinidad and capture it, hold it, treat it, distribute it. The Diego Martin River collects more water than the country could use, just the Diego Martin River. If the Diego Martin River was a retention facility with water making facilities all along the river, for all of the communities. If Diego Martin was responsible for its own water, Diego Martin would never not have water again, ever. Same in Maraval. But that 48-inch main and most of the water infrastructure that exists in Trinidad and Tobago was built by the Queen. Now you don't have to like me, and you don't have to love me. You don't even have to want to hear what I'm saying, to hear truth. When you drive on the roads and you see the roads falling apart because of those pipes that are running below the roads that eventually break and undermine the roads and wash away the dirt below the structure of the roads to create what becomes surface cracks and then leaks and then potholes, and the entire national infrastructure looks the way it is. So when they tell you the water problem is water leaks, those water leaks are also destroying the roads that those pipes should not be running under. All of the thinking people of Trinidad and Tobago who follow me, who have learned to love me, have said to me, the reason I follow you is that you say the things I always thought was true. I always thought that it was impossible for the same education system teaching all the children in Trinidad to have so many of our children fail. Something had to be wrong. They had to be using different teachers, different books. It had to be set up to fail, and we proved that it is. Because Mokorapo Secondary and Fatima College share a wall. One is a failed school and one is a prestige school. And I've asked people, I asked them if I take all the children from Fatima College and I put them in Mokorapo, and I take all the children from Mokorapo and I put them in Fatima, which would succeed? and they get confused because they don't know if it is the teachers in Fatima that works, or if it is the structure in Fatima that works. They border on wanting to say that the children that end up in Mokarapo, Dotesh, that's what they want to say. They want to give you that as the answer. But it's the same education system that took them to the same SCA. All children are as bright as each other. There will be advanced children in certain fields all along the way, but that's the absolute minuscule minority. There's a national average. That's why they use grade point averages in all of the developed countries of the world. Finland has the #1 standard of education on the planet. The number 2, 3, 4, and 5, you add them together, still not as good as Finland's system. And all we had to do was go and borrow what Finland does, and Trinidad would work. Dubai and Singapore are multi-billion-dollar countries, profitable, not because of oil and gas, but because of goods and services. And all we had to do was go to those countries and learn what they do and do it. Singapore makes billions of dollars with their port. We lose billions of dollars with our port. The answer to the question why would be because it's deliberate. We need it to fail so that some contract mafia friend or financier of the government could come along and buy it, and they could make the money. Like the water. All of Trinidad and Tobago complaining no water. But Dominic had it in Blue Water's factory, didn't stop for a minute. So where his water coming from? Where his water coming from? And there are people who don't want you to ask the questions that I ask. There are people who don't want you to know the things that I put in your head. They wanted you to be laborers and consumers. They wanted you to work hard. Work as hard as they could get you to work, and then go home and eat a barely functional meal, and then go out and get drunk. Coming here today, I was counting how many different types of churches there are along the way versus how many bars there were. And I realized that Trinidad's biggest problem is we are working very hard to escape reality. We do not want to face the truth. We do not want to face the truth that even though this could be biblical Eden, even though this could be the best country in the world, we live in an absolute failed state. Nobody in this country trusts the government. Nobody. You have people who leave government today and bad talk the government tomorrow, and then join back with the government that they bad talk before and now they're good. We know that politics in Trinidad and Tobago is all about theft. We know it's hard for you to hear somebody new, somebody like me, somebody like any of us speak and take us seriously, saying that you've been abused by every single politician the country has ever had. Every single government that we have ever had have lied to us. So when 50% of the children fail, that is 10,000 people that are grist for the criminal mill. And when Customs and Excise and Coast Guard can't stop the 40,000 guns from coming in the country, you just armed those 10,000 people, and people wonder where crime coming from. You're gonna ask where crime coming from? We are creating crime. Our education system, our jobs system. Look at our jobs. You need 3 O-level passes to put your life in danger for amalgamated security. 50,000 security guards in this country. That is 5% of the working population are security guards. What we guarding so? What? These are questions that we need to ask. We need to understand. And there's somebody in this audience who was related to the person that security company was set up to protect, and they still kill him. That's our reality. Our national security apparatus has failed. Coast Guard allow 150,000 Venezuelans into the country, and I have nothing wrong with the Venezuelans. Singapore is a third of the size of Trinidad and Tobago, and they have a population of 5.2 million people. That means Trinidad could easily have a population of 10 to 12 million people and be functional and first world. So we need those people to come back, the 2 million Trinidadians in the diaspora outside who've escaped, who are related by parents, to come back home and help develop the country. But we are going to need Venezuelans and Jamaicans and Nigerians and even Chinese and Arabs to come in here to sell gyros. Shouldn't be here selling gyros. We shouldn't have these little Venezuelan girls posing outside the bar that I passed in Princestown when I was coming here in barely clothes to attract people to come and drink. Last time I checked, we owed these people respect and dignity. We weren't supposed to take advantage of their horrible situation to our advantage. All of these things. For the 8 hours I was either walking or standing in the back of Lachman's truck, I was watching and thinking, how could a country that has this much potential, forget the fact that we had $3 trillion. Forget that. Forget that we had $3 trillion and we don't have it anymore. Forget that. A country that is fortunate and as blessed as Trinidad and Tobago, that could be making hundreds of billions of dollars every year in national income, that could have its people living practically tax-free, that could be providing proper goods and services to the people of Trinidad and Tobago with a 4-day work week. You could have water in your taps. You could have so much hope and opportunity that nobody wants to commit crime, like countries like Sweden and Switzerland and Holland that shutting down their jails. We could be that. We could be that. India is telling the world that in 25 years, 21% of the global workforce will be working for an Indian company. They're on a mission, they're on a plan, and they know. They know where they're trying to go. Does anybody know where Trinidad is trying to go? Other than to hell? Does anybody know the government's plan, any government's plan? Have you ever heard a political party enunciate a vision for the country that could have instructed the tertiary educators, that could have instructed the secondary educators to prepare children for this new vision and of what Trinidad and Tobago could be? Does anybody know? Look at our Trinidad and Tobago. Every single person hearing my voice, the reason the Progressive Empowerment Party exists is because there is a contract mafia that owns and operates the PNM and the UNC. Politicians who have left those parties have admitted it and gone back into those political parties. Politicians have left those political parties to ruin this nation, to set up gun companies and arm and ammunition companies and water desalination companies, all because they know the problem, and instead of wanting to fix it, they come to take advantage of it. I want to tell you the worst story that I know about Trinidad and Tobago, and it happened about 30 years ago. A woman was being molested. I don't want to use the real word, I have children around us. A woman was being molested in the Queen's Park Savannah, and she screamed for help, and 9 men came and helped the molester. That's Trinidad. 41 people in the parliament either know nothing or don't care. The parliament has never delivered to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. When people like Kezia Rampal, who is brilliant in education, could pack herself up and leave and go in the next person's land to live, because nothing in Trinidad and Tobago offers her hope for her personal development. And I'm sorry for using you as an example, but there are so many people. My brother, Dr. Paul Elias Alexander, many of you all would know him, went on to become one of the top epidemiologists in the world. But he was satisfied being at Trinity, but they had nothing in Trinidad for him. But he left here with nothing and went on to become one of the top epidemiologists in the world. In fact, he should be given a Nobel Peace Prize for saving as many people as he did from Gates and Fauci. But that's a conversation for another time. I used plenty people's names of who left this country, who left here with nothing, that went on to become the top of their field in the world. Trinidadians are bright and brilliant regardless of race, color, creed, or class. We need to stop the nonsense of the division, and the Progressive Empowerment Party has created that. When you look at yourselves, when you look at what we were outside that bar today, jumping in the road, I realize no other political party encapsulates the national anthem. Here, every creed and race truly finds an equal place. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the hope of a better Trinidad and Tobago, and it is going to deliver that hope through each and every one of our candidates. And I want you to give all of our candidates a round of applause, please.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed by our guests on Workers' Rights 868 broadcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of our program or its hosts. We do not endorse or take responsibility for the accuracy, completeness,
or reliability of any information, statement, or advice shared by our guests. Listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research and seek professional advice before making any decisions based on the information provided during our program. Workers' Rights 868 broadcast is not liable for any loss or damage that may arise from the use of or reliance on the information presented during our program.